Hey, Dale here from the Wheels Through Time Museum, sitting on my old 1940 four-cylinder Indian. What a great bike it is, too. Had it for many years. Actually bought it at a really interesting auction in St. Louis, Missouri, the former E&M Motorcycles, Midwest Motorcycles. Well, the old guy decided to sell all his stuff, and it was a cold spring day in a great big field, piles of parts everywhere, and 3 old motorcycles, and this is the one I brought home. 1940 four-cylinder. One of the last years Indian made the four-cylinder motorcycle, and is in striking condition. Although the bike is basically restored, the engine's untouched. It seemed to be a good running motor. Smokes a little bit when it warms up. Huge amount of fun, starts easily, magneto ignition, and really enjoy this motorcycle. You know, when I found this bike, it was in unrestored condition, and didn't spend a huge amount of time restoring it. Did a nice paint job and redid the wheels, new old stock tires. But a couple of things I really liked about this motorcycle when I found it in its original shape was the original leather saddle, extremely cool horn. You gotta love the Crocker steering dampener. And I really like the magneto ignition because you don't need a hot battery to start this. Just put gas in it anytime. One choke, one kick, off you go. 3-speed transmission. Great suspension system, front and rear. And of course the new balloon tires on this bike really make it glide down the road. And the four-cylinder bike in its heyday was the premium machine of choice. Indian quit building these bikes in 1942. But actually the interesting thing, from 1938 to 1942, they actually produced less than 1,000 of these machines per year. That puts it in a pretty special category. And of course the Indian 4, a favorite among collectors, a full skirted Indian 4, 1940, 41, a few in 42. A lot of people's choice. Oh yeah, one more thing. Before I take this bike for a ride, what a cool exhaust system. Chrome and black porcelain. Cool oil gauge in front. You can see your oil pressure's doing all the time. Many Indians were left-hand throttle, right-hand shift. This one's been civilized to right-hand throttle, left-hand shift. With all that being said, I'm going to go for a ride before it rains out. You know, it's always good to exercise these bikes, and one thing about Wheels Through Time, the museum that runs, these bikes are exercised regularly. I've ridden this bike, not a lot, but a little bit every year for the last 10, 15 years. Pretty good to get them out and go, limbers them up. The bike does use a little bit of oil, but so what? Most bikes use a little bit of oil. 1940 Indian 4, having a great time. I think I might go back and get something else and ride it.